So we got tech, and we've got welcome, and we've got today, and we've got ahead, and then we've got on board. Okay, on board, and we'll do, and then we'll do a little lecture. And then we'll do activity. And then we'll do our take up. And then we're going to conclude. Okay. So that is, well, that's not quite right. Got to do this more like that. Yeah. And then let's see. We won't, we'll leave that here. What's that? Oh, yeah, it works over here. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's see what we have. While Myrene is getting things connected, we're going to start, and I will explain first. How about some water? And good. Good, good, good. Okay, good. So that you can see yeah, we're good? Okay, so you get, well, actually, we still have a minute before we officially begin, but we'll start a little early. That's new, exactly. Alec, great to see you. Okay. Well, and we're on Toria. Good, so they can hear me. Welcome, everyone, to Global Leader in the Global Classroom at Durham College in Oshawa, Canada, for what we like to think is the best class in the world. Okay, you can decide that shortly. My name is Lon Appleby. I am your professor and the founder of the Global Class. Have helped to build this whole space. This is Mayreen Khan, our coordinator in the Global Classroom. And essentially what we're going to do today for Global Leader is you're going to learn about what this course is. So by the end of the next 90 minutes or so, when we end, you will have a good sense of what you've signed up for. And if you decide that this isn't quite the educational experience that you want, there are lots of great general education electives at this college. And I can even add a little bit of sweetening to it, which is there will be a semester this semester. No strike is going to happen. As of this morning, we have settled, and that means that your entire semester will not be disrupted, which is well, Alec, Alec is a former student of mine. You're going to hear about other courses I teach. Good question. Some of it is going to arbitration, but in the last strike, there was no arbitration. We had to we were ordered back to work. So the fact that we are going to arbitration now for the final issues is a positive step, and the major things have been resolved. And then the other things, I'm still not entirely clear if everything has been resolved, but definitely there will be no labor action. So that's the first bit of good news. The other bit of good news for all of you is that the class today will be light on work because it's an introduction, and I'd like you to just be able to listen, to participate, and understand what this course is because it's different. This is a different class. This is a different educational experience, and essentially, I think all of you are going to like it, but it's new. And I want you to be able to adjust and learn what this is all about. So the first thing in terms of adjusting that we need to do is you need to understand something about the class and how it's being delivered. First, we're live streaming on YouTube right now. If you don't want to be part of the live class here, you don't have to be. There are all sorts of options. You can join online, you can watch the recordings, but right now we are live in high definition because we are also recording off of the back end of YouTube for all the students watching the recordings. The reason I say that critically is not just to let you know that we are recording in case you have trouble with that and you don't want to be here, but it means that we need to create a sense of a class for everybody who's joining online or watching the recordings. And that means that we have to get everybody close into this area because let's just for a moment, I'm going to show you something, okay? Can we just take a look at the just show them what's on YouTube right now, okay? So, and go for okay, great. So this is the class that's on YouTube. There's a 10-second delay right now. So you're seeing things 10 seconds ago. If you were to come into the class right now online or watch the recording, there are 48 people registered in just this class. Okay, so most people are not here. Okay, if they came and watched that right now, they would go, that class looks kind of empty. It looks kind of lame. There's no class, there's just a few people. But if you move in and you let me direct you a little bit, because I used to work in television and film before I started teaching 15 years ago and helped create this, I understand something about production. The screen has to look like it's reflecting the reality here. That's why I'd like as many of you as possible to fill the couches and the rest to fill these tables close to the couches and watch what's going to happen for the people who are online. And for those of you, suddenly it feels like there are people, more people. And this is really important, okay? So we need to do this first. I need to direct you a little bit. We're going to be a little bit of a film set for the moment. There's no craft services at the moment, okay? Um, although some students may bring in donuts, but watch what happens. Excellent, excellent. Now, I'm going to talk for a little bit before everybody is introduced and you understand more of what's happening. But now what we're starting to get a feeling of is that there are people who have come together for a class. The idea of what we've created for this best class in the world is, it is the first developed multimedia classroom anywhere in the world, meaning that if you join online synchronously in what we call the cosmos, so right now we have, well, hello, Dylan. We have Dylan who's joined online. He's out there somewhere in the cosmos, and he might share his camera. He might not. We'll see, but he's in the live chat. And there are all these people watching the recordings later. When they come, they're going to feel like they've been part of this group. This is not Zoom. Okay, so the idea is that when you come into the class online, out there with the recordings, you see exactly what all of you see. You see this big $500,000 video wall. You see students. And then this is the part where you're going to feel a little bit of energy now course through this class. You guys are the stars of this. I'm your professor. Yes, I'm going to teach you all about global leadership and help you. But there's going to be a lot of interaction in this class, a lot of back and forth. Because, number one, and then I'm going to stop for a moment, If you want to be set up for success today, if you want to be ready for a very complicated, entangled, planetized world that is really upside down and all over the place, but has so many opportunities, if you cannot communicate in person, you will be walked over. You will lose. We happen to be living at a time, all of us, where technology is so embedded in our lives, and there was the pandemic too, that most of us don't know how to communicate in person anymore. We're losing that. That's highly, highly dangerous. I am not against tech. I love tech, as you can see from this space and what we've done. But if you don't know how to use tech to enable you and make you better, and you use tech essentially to hide behind because you don't know how to be in person with people anymore, you will be left behind in this world. And we will be left to people like Elon Musk to be our best role models. That's not very good. He's brilliant, but he's dangerous at the same time, as you will hear more and more from this class. So, this part, interaction, and all of you, well, Dylan is the only one who's coming on the Cosmos today, but sometimes you'll see maybe 10 or 15 people up there and then all watching the recordings. They're going to feel like they're joining the conversation and everybody's going to be commenting. The ones who are watching the recordings will be posting discussion posts along with you in the same place. So the idea is that we've created this educational community, this class where we're together for the semester, no matter where you are. Okay, does that make sense? And some of you know this already because you look like, what's your name again? What's that? Ethan, I've seen you before, right? And Alec as well, I've seen in other classes, and some of you I will have seen. I'd like to talk a little bit more about who I am before we really get going with kind of hearing from some of you, okay? And I'd like you to all feel as comfortable as you can too. So you need to check out the professor in the classroom. So you're examining me right now. Okay? You're thinking, do I really want to be here? Who is this guy? What is this class? And I know that, so I'm fine with that. So I need to help you understand a bit more about who I am and who Mayreen is. Okay? So another thing you need to understand about this is that I teach 3 general education electives, all under the umbrella of the story of humanity. Short history of the world, global leader, and humanity's destiny. So I'm the human story guy at the campus. Alec has been in short history of the world. He's now in global leader. Ethan, I think, was in short history or humanity's destiny. He's now coming to global leader for this. So some of my students over the years, they'll take all 3 courses and they will get a sense after they finish the 3 Gen Ed electives here. They've really got a sense of what is the human story? What is the shared human story on planet Earth today? Because we're all together. We know that now. So that's something that you will hear me referring to is sometimes other courses, world history, the human future, but you're here for today, global leader. How can I be set up for success and understand how to lead more than follow, how to develop a global mindset more effectively so I can be ready for the world that I graduate into, which is more complex, more unpredictable, more volatile than almost any time in history. And so it's my intention when I walk in here to make sure that you learn and you're ready to become really smart and to act, because you need to be smart and you need to be on your feet and you need to lead and you need to communicate in today's world. So, this is just a little introduction of what this space is. Now, I want to stop and thank all of you for coming in so quickly into the inner circle like this. And I want to now start a little bit by getting to know all of you somewhat as best I can and give people a chance to introduce themselves a little bit, and also to feast your eyes for a moment. I'm going to actually, can you come back for a sec? Um, and just remind ourselves of what's behind us, which is planet Earth. And how many of you are familiar with the live view of planet Earth from the International Space Station? Good. Okay. Do you like watching it sometime? Listen to the music, see the space station going in orbit around the planet. It's kind of inspiring. Just uh, oh, we're live. Good. Okay. So it's dark, and why is it dark? Because right now, 430 kilometers, up in the sky. That's right, the Pacific Ocean. That's where the space station is right now. The planet-wide view, the planetary perspective, the global mindset is a critical quality of global leadership. And that's something we're going to really drill down a little bit on today, which is this idea of the global mindset. But first, let's just keep this going right now. We are seeing a live view from one of the most complex developed machines humans have ever created, the International Space Station, with about 5 or 6 astronauts from different countries up there right now. And they're moving at something like 7 miles or 10 kilometers per second. Thank you, Alec. Okay. And we'll make sure we get a microphone because we need to hear people when they speak. So it sounds like a podcast, like really nice and rich, not like microphones up here where people are distant. Everybody feels close. So these microphones are, you'll see in a moment, are important. We're gonna start. So I just want to orient all of you to the fact that we're together now in space. We're in a spacecraft together. And for the next 90 minutes, we're going to be going around the planet. We're going to be thinking like astronauts. It takes 90 minutes for the space station to orbit the planet, moving at that 7.6 kilometers a second. If you calculate that into an hourly speed, we're talking thousands and thousands of kilometers in per hour, meaning that the space station can go from about Pickering to Whitby in probably 2 seconds. So this is fast. We're together. We're learning how to think planet-wide, and we're going to be developing our leadership skills. But we need to open ourselves up always. So planet-wide view. So let's start for a little bit. Every class, I need to take attendance. And the way I'm going to do that, and I'll explain why that is done in terms of marks and everything, is that I'm going to pass the microphone around. So, Alec, can you do me a favor and just give the microphone to the first gentleman over there, and just turn the microphone on, okay? And like karaoke, like hold it close. Could you just say your full name, please?
Isaiah Wanzama.
Isaiah,
Wanzama.
how do you spell that? Wa-
WANZAAMA.
Wanzama, Isaiah Wanzama?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, welcome, Isaiah. Now, here's how it's going to work. Every person who comes in person, immediately you get the participation mark every class of out of 3. Just by being here, you get 2 out of 3. To get 3 out of 3, you need to post a question on the discussion post at the end of the class. And that's it, a question based on today's class. Then you get 3 out of 3, and you get that 1% or 1.5% every class for in-person attendance. In order for me to track everybody who's in person and who's online and who's recording, I need to get their names, and then I kind of match that to the spreadsheet so I know who will get their marks properly. So I now know Isaiah's here. I can check this later. And then if Isaiah posts his question based on today's class on the class 1 discussion post on DC Connect before next week's class, he gets 3 out of 3. Okay? So let's keep going, all right? And just make sure that everybody who's here is properly identified. Alec, go ahead.
Alec Mann.
Okay. Isaiah, Alec, please go ahead.
Sean Frederick Bengayan.
Sean, welcome. Sean, do you want to hand the microphone back there? Great.
Aaron Tusime.
Aaron
Tusime.
Tusime. How do you spell the last name?
Tusiime.
Okay, and it's Aaron.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so far, just by taking the microphone, giving the name in person, 2 out of 3. Just like that. Okay? Let's keep going.
Zachary Donnelly.
Zachary, welcome. Okay, and here, take the microphone.
Amit Kimire.
Ahmed.
Kimire.
Nice. Welcome, Ahmed. Yes.
Gaurapreet Singh.
Gore.
Gaurapreet Singh.
Singh. Okay, Gore. I remember seeing it on the roster. Gourv.
AV.
Okay, and then Singh.
Preet Singh. Preet Singh.
Preet Singh. Oh, Preet Singh. Okay, thank you. Go back there. Good. Keep going.
Koos Thakkar.
Koos.
Koos Thakkar.
And the last name is T-U.
THAKKAR.
You can see how global this class is, and you're going to start to see that a global leader today, if you don't know how to communicate with people from different countries, you will be lost in this planetary world. We'll give him a chance to settle for a moment. And it's your name again? Sean. Good. Thank you, Sean. Give him a chance to just chill a little bit and and then we'll come back to him, okay? But I like it because you're right on top of things. And so far, nobody seems to be disappearing into their machines yet. But we will see. I will always let you bring in your machines. We will use the machines. However, I'm going to try to help you not to be a slave to your machine. Meaning that the way you experience the world should be in 3 dimensions, in flesh and blood, not in 2 dimensions, synthetically, online. That's dangerous if you do that all the time because you lose your humanity that way. But it can be amazingly inspiring. But if you find yourself disappearing into your machines, you gotta go onto social media. Maybe it's because I'm not doing such a good job teaching and holding your attention. Fair enough, that can happen. But probably it's because you don't have much self-control. You don't know how to take control of your machines. And that's really, really important as a leader. You got to take charge, okay? Or try to prevent. Sean, go ahead and let's start talking, okay? Karaoke, go ahead. What is that, Sean? Yeah, turn it on, and it's like karaoke, okay?
So
Yeah.
what I just said was a reference to a movie where humanity that's taken over by AI in reference to us being controlled by social media.
Yeah, that's right. See, I want to stop that from happening. I want to make sure that you learn how to be not only a good leader, but a great human being in this class. Because A good leader is a human first. A good leader is not a machine. That's a tool. Okay, that's a tool.
I
Hold on,
disagree.
Hold a second. Okay, good. I just got to stop you. This is good. There's always at the beginning in any class, there's going to be a default student who emerges, and then I have to show my self-control and not keep pivoting over to the student who is engaged, which is excellent. But Sean, good examples. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, you can hold on to the microphone. Okay. Perfect. Okay, go ahead.
Tanish Patel. Tanish Patel.
Danish Patel. Okay, welcome, Danish. Yeah, please next to Danish.
Diksha Malla. Diksha.
Niksha. Yeah.
D.
And
Diksha. D.
D.
Diksha.
Diksha.
Yeah. Malla.
Wow. Diksha, where are you from?
I'm from Nepal.
Well, now we talk about the news sometimes. We're going to cover all the things on the agenda, but let's just pivot for a moment, okay? Does anybody know what just happened in Nepal in the last couple of days? You're also from Nepal? Okay, so is it, are any of you connected back home with?
No.
Okay. We know that there has just been an earthquake there. And right now, as we speak, the Chinese government is assisting the Nepalese and others full out with a rescue mission to rescue people who are trapped in rural communities from an earthquake in minus 20-degree temperature. So there is right now unfolding in Nepal the great, beautiful land of Mount Everest and the Himalayas. Yet another climate disaster. What a complex world. We won't talk about that yet. But this is a world of extreme climate events. Once upon a time, we used to have these climate catastrophes every 100 years because it's normal in nature. Now we get them every 2 years. Because the weather and the geology of the planet has been so impacted by humans that we're changing nature. This is real. So I hope that no family or friends are suffering right now as a result of this. But I'm glad that you're here, safe, and not having to dig yourself out of a collapsed building under a lot of concrete in minus 20-degree Celsius, cold weather. Probably you would not survive. Okay, good. So the world is a pretty unstable place these days. A lot of things going on. Yes, could you give the microphone to our next student? Yeah.
Jonathan Sabadin.
Jonathan? Yeah, do you like John or is it Jonathan?
Whatever works.
Okay, Jonathan, that's the way you introduce yourself first. Welcome to the Global Classroom. Let's go next here.
My name's Kinza Iman.
Kenza?
Kinza Iman.
Kinza.
Yeah.
How do you spell Kinza? K?
Kinza.
Okay, and Kinza, where might you have been born?
Oh, I was born in Pakistan.
In
Pakistan.
Pakistan. Okay, we'll save the geography till later, but can we get a little bit of orientation here? Okay, everyone that we're talking about, here we are right now. We are way up in the northern part of the world in Canada, and there's the United States down here, and then there's South America down there, and that's the American continent. We have an American president right now who's just emerged, and for the first time in 200 years, since the War of 1812, he wants to take over Canada. And he's talking about annexing Canada economically.
50-50 1 seat.
Incredible times we living in. Okay, so but right now we are Canada, and we are proudly Canadian here. The Americas, Atlantic Ocean, Europe, go down, Africa, great continent, many different countries there. Keep going into the Middle East, world of tremendous conflict. And then we keep going into the great Indian subcontinent. And what do we have? We have India, we have Pakistan, and we have Bangladesh. Talk about conflict, religious conflict. India, mostly Hindu. Pakistan, mostly Muslim. Bangladesh, mostly Muslim. And sometimes they fight. And we're going to be exploring conflict a lot this semester, because to understand the world as a whole, here's the hard thing for all of you, perhaps, to absorb. You're going to have to start to like conflict, not be afraid of it. See, most of us don't like conflict. Sean, what's that, Sean? As a
The reason why everyone doesn't like conflict is mainly because of the byproduct that conflict usually does. Oh, sure. It can be like small conflicts, like arguments, or like just bantering around, or middle fingers galore. But I believe the conflict that you're talking about is currently about wars, or like
that's
whatever.
right. And there are a lot of wars going on.
Justices as
Injustice. Absolutely.
Genocide,
Genocide. Even bigger one, omnicide.
serial killer.
Do you know what omnicide is? Destruction of everything. Yeah. How many of you saw the movie or know the story of Robert Oppenheimer, the creator of the atomic bomb? That, well, we happen to live at a time, all of us, where we humans have weapons of mass destruction that can destroy everything, all life on this planet. That's called omnicide. Now, I don't want to depress you, but it is my belief that when you walk into this classroom and when I teach you, I believe that we should be able to talk about anything and everything, no matter how dark or depressing. And the more depressing or dark it is, and the more clarity we can bring to that, the more we start to feel, oh, it's not so dark. It's not so bad. We talked about it. We found the words. So we can talk about everything as long as we do it with intelligence. As long as we do it with the power of the human mind, the free, smart human mind that does not get so easily distracted by their machines. We don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to point this out. We don't know what he's looking at. What we do know is we lost him. He stepped out of the moment. He decided to leave the world of humans. And he has this incredible thing in his hand. He walks around with it all day. And anytime he finds himself bored or he needs to check something, he just looks and suddenly he's disappeared. This is not good for humanity. Unless there was an emergency and he's being informed right now that his mother is being rushed to the hospital. And I would say, get the hell out of here. Other than that, probably he hasn't really reflected much on his use of his phone and his ability to interact. Okay? So let's finish up. Kinza, thank you, Kinza, and for a good comment about injustice. We're going to be looking a lot at injustice. Yeah, okay. Next,
Afoma Iguatu.
Oh, beautiful name. And Afoma, what country do you come from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay. Nigeria is no small country. Does anyone know what the population of Nigeria happens to be? But we won't ask the Nigerian yet. Let's take a look. Let's bring the map over and maybe zoom in. Zoom in a little bit on Africa. Can you, I don't know if you can do that. I used to be able to do that, and here I'll try it like this. There we go. Okay, great. So if you can see, this is not completely to scale, this map, but it's colorful and it looks good on a big screen. So Nigeria is a little bit bigger than this map, but Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in the world from population. One of the 10th largest. How many millions of people are in Nigeria? Want to try and guess before we go to our real Nigerian straight from there, Alec? He's way off. Yeah. Afoma, approximately, what's the population? What's that? 200 million, probably more, even if we do a complete updated check as of today. Right now we have 8.1 billion humans on the planet. 8.1 billion, growing at 71 million annually. That means 70 million more are born than die. So we're growing at 70 million a year. There's well, Nigeria has the largest population of all African countries, big country. But then you go into India, and you go into China. Population there combined, India and China, pretty close to 3 billion. So if you wonder, as you look around you, all the Indian students here, all the international students, and a lot of students from the Punjab, Sikh students as well, you'll start to understand that if you want to be ready for the world as it is, you better understand India. You better start respecting this Sikh over here and these Patels. There are probably 4 or 5 of them in this class and others, because they have a lot of power in this world, the largest democracy. And then you go to China, which is even bigger than India. So we have a lot of students here from different parts of the world and from places that are really important to understand. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to teach us something as well about different ways of leadership, leadership from an Indian perspective, maybe leadership from a Sikh perspective. Look at the leader of the NDP party in Canada, Jasmeet Singh. He's a pretty tough guy. He had the courage in the last few days to say to Donald Trump on his social media, "Cut the crap, Donald. Stop talking about this nonsense. Nobody's taking you seriously." How many of our leaders today have the courage to stand up and say to Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and all the billionaires, "Shut up. We're important here." Jasmeet Singh did. Sikh. Not bad. And he's a martial artist too. Do you know that? I think he has his black belt. Something like that. So we've got to make sure we understand Nigeria, India, China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and where do you come from? Okay, but I understand Canada. But I bet your parents weren't. Wow. So there we go. Talk about global leader. You are a global citizen. Here's a tough question. If you were really asked, who are you? Are you Ugandan? Are you Jamaican? Are you Canadian? Or are you something else? Well, who are you? What would you say?
I would say I was Canadian. I've been raised here, but like
Yeah.
ethnically, like how I was raised was definitely like through an immigrant's perspective. So like I understand.
can understand.
like both sides of like growing up in this kind of environment.
Well, can I add on to something?
Absolutely. And yes,
You're asking us who we are. I mean, it's not just limited to like like who we are isn't just like where we're from. Like there's a lot more to that.
oh yeah, that's
I
for
mean,
sure.
That's not just the only thing about us that may, but it does have an effect, I would say. But you know what I mean? I think it's more important to see more than what country we're from and just what we share, beliefs, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Very good. What program are you in?
Oh, I'm in the computer systems technician program, transfer to Ontario Tech University.
Oh, great. Nice. Thank you for your courage. For your courage, and your courage in speaking. This is only the first class. We've barely met. Okay. Let's make sure we get everybody, and then I can do the proper attendance. So we have all the names. And then Sean, in case I forget, remind me to come to our chill guy there. Okay, for him. Not yet. Let's finish going around. Yes.
Hello, my name is Ruth Nyomugo.
Ruth, welcome. And Ruth, where do you come from, geographically speaking?
I come from Rwanda.
From
Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Yeah.
Whoa. Conflict? Can I tell you something as a small aside? Do you know who General Romeo Dallaire is in Canada? Well, we may talk a little bit more about him as a great global leader, the Canadian general who was in charge of the United Nations peacekeeping force during the war in Rwanda not too long ago between the Tutsis and the Hutus. So difficult was that situation for General Romeo Dallaire. He saw so much grotesque violence and hatred between these two great communities of people who were slaughtering each other, and I mean butchering each other. The failure of the world. And what he saw was so traumatic that he had a breakdown. Imagine this. A general had a nervous breakdown. A general? A military person? Representing the United Nations? That's not supposed to happen. Well,
But it can.
that's right, Sean. It can. He came back to Canada and he began a campaign to raise awareness for mental health, to raise awareness for what war does to humans. Now, from a leadership perspective, we will talk a lot about conflict this semester. Conflict between us in this classroom, conflict between you and your roommates from different countries over who's going to do the dishes and why the dishes are not getting done and who's going to clean the toilet. That's normal conflict. And then there's the big conflict, which is, why is war always a problem for humans? If we know war destroys humans, destroys their humanity, and everybody hates war, why is there war? Well, we'll have to try and understand something about the injustices and inequalities and the problems that lead to this. Because guess what? You have all this tech in your hands today, incredible machines. But we humans, we're not really advancing that much socially, morally, spiritually. This is a problem that you, in your lives, will have to confront. You will enter a world where you will think you have so much because your machine does so much for you, but then stand back and go, but wait a minute. Why are we still destroying each other at the level that we do? Something must be wrong with us humans. And maybe I want to be part of the solution. Okay. So thank you for telling us about that. We'll explore a little bit more, but did you know about the name Romeo Dallaire and the general in Canada? You might want to do a little reading about him. He's a remarkable figure in Canada for what he tried to do and failed to do and how he suffered for it. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Amir Hamayel, and you will surprise, I'm from Palestine.
Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you something that is going to really unnerve all of you. But this is exactly why we have this class. He is from Palestine, and I'm a Jew. What do we do now? Just a second. Let's let this settle in, okay? For all of you. Just to understand. First, how is it possible? How is it possible that I, as a Jew, work closely with a Muslim who's wearing a hijab? Oh, okay. But then let's look at. We won't talk for a moment, okay? We're just going to acknowledge right now that we are at war with each other, and I'm supposed to hate.
Actually, I like the war is not like about Jewish, like being Jewish or being Muslim for me. It's more about the conflict is about more like the Arab and like the Palestinian, like that we are like we are Arabian Muslims.
Yes.
And the Zionists, not the Jewish religion, because I respect the religion, I respect their beliefs. But the thing that destroyed and give all the people like the wrong idea about any Jewish and any Jew like you can meet. Like I have like 2 or 3 friends, and they like stand like they say what happened like from the Israeli side is wrong. Like because like my friend is from Nablus. I don't know if you know like
You know of
the city.
Nablus, of course.
And they are like Samiri. They all like we are like really friends. We met like at university back home, and they are chill guys. They don't have any problems. They say, I don't know why those do like those things. They are like just want what here, and they don't know. Like it's easy to know like what the thing that happened is Zionist is destroying and kill any idea that we know about the Jew and any person that have any heritage from it.
Your courage and eloquence and your command of English is great. And thank you.
Thank you.
And your first name again?
My name is Amir.
Amir. A-M-I-R.
A-M-E-E-R.
A-M-E-E-R. We're not going to go there yet in trying to understand how we talk about these things together. I just want you to acknowledge something. You're in a classroom right now, and you just witnessed your professor and a student interact as equals, as humans, with different histories. But we're communicating. This is the essence of global leadership. The essence of being able to lead in today's world is you have to be able to be ready to be uncomfortable with people from all different parts of the world, all different backgrounds, all different expectations, and you have to be able to sit with that person and have a team. You don't get anywhere in this world without partners. If anybody ever tells you they got somewhere by themselves, just ask a few questions like, tell me about your parents and your siblings and maybe the teachers you had and the friends you had, and maybe some help you might have received financially. And gradually you're going to start to see that, well, nobody gets anywhere by themselves. We all need each other. But how do we do that? How do we work together? Okay. So, Emir,
Like,
thank you.
We
Yes.
can work together because there's a thing that most people don't know about Islam, about Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam.
Yes.
He married a Jew. She was a Jew. And like, people don't talk about those things. Like a Muslim can marry Jew, or any let's say like Christians. But like after like maybe 6 months, 2 months, I don't remember like how long like the time was it. She converted like to Islam
Yes.
because how much she see from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam.
And it's okay to say Muhammad's name in the class. You're okay? With
Yeah,
that,
it's
you know,
okay.
The respect to a prophet and to a great religious thinker.
Peace upon him.
Sometimes students who are very religious, they don't want me to say his name, but I want to make sure we can establish that we can talk about everybody in this class. Okay, Amir, thank you. Okay, please,
My name is Calvin Kloss.
Calvin
Kloss.
K or C. Welcome, Calvin. Okay, we're going to just speed this up a little bit, and then
Liam Welsh.
uh,
Liam Welsh.
Liam Welsh. Do I detect a little Irish in there, or
No, actually.
Welsh?
Wales and Liverpool.
Yes, Wales and
Big
Liverpool, right. Is that where you were born? From Liverpool? And I'm sure you've heard, you know, Abbey Road and the Beatles and A Million and One Times. Okay. So you have family that come from where John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and the final Beatle was George Harrison. Yeah, the Beatles. Okay. From Liverpool. Yeah. And Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan Montgomery.
Welcome again to. Okay, finally, let me just acknowledge Dylan online, speak to the students watching the recording, and then we're all going to get up and we're going to do a little activity together to get you moving around. Okay. So, Alec, you have grab the microphone from Sean.
We also have one
Oh,
more person.
Thank you for. Please give your name so we can properly do the attendance.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. So my name is Sashpreet Singh and I'm from Punjab, India.
Welcome, Sashpreet.
Yeah, Sach, S-A-C-H.
Okay, excellent. Welcome. Okay, so Dylan. Hi, Dylan. Are you able to jump on your microphone? If not, don't worry. Even better, can you show us your lovely face? But let's see. If
And speak in chat.
that's true, let's see if Dylan.
Oh my God.
Let's see if Dylan is still there, because Dylan may have gone out for a little walk.
Hello,
May have
Dylan.
disappeared.
Exist.
That's right. Dylan, are you okay? Fair enough. Get well, okay, Dylan. That's why we can have the global class like this. If you're sick and you can't come to class, and you're too sick, you don't have to come to the class at all. But if you feel like it, you can join online, and nobody's going to pick up what you have if you're contagious. Okay, Dylan. So, is there anything, Dylan, that you would like to put into the live chat at this point about the class so far? A question? Anything that comes to mind that you would like us to address? If not, you can simply say, no, I'm okay. Let's see how he responds. We'll give him a couple of seconds. Okay, so we'll let Dylan work on that. Finally, there you go. So he's there. I call that the cosmos. You will see generally on that side of the screen a whole bunch of little icons show up. Usually there's more than one who joins online. And I never demand that anyone use their camera or share their microphone. So I'm fine with all the online students just coming in as a little icon, or I call them planets. And they're out there. That's the cosmos. You know they're out there, they're listening, and they may put things into the live chat. Here's how things work for them in terms of participation. If they show up online like this, they immediately get 1 out of 3. If they want 3 out of 3, they need to do a full comment, like the students watching the recordings. And I will explain how that works in a moment. But essentially, for those of you who are here in person, all you need to do is come to the class, post the question at the end. For all of the others watching online and also the recordings, they have to do more in the discussion post. They have to write more, and that's how they get their participation marks. So they're participating. They're watching the recordings. They're watching how we interact, and then they're kind of writing almost like the movie review on how the class went, who said this and how they spoke, and they usually have to write up to 200 words for that. And if I smell AI, they immediately get a 0. And if I keep smelling AI, they fail. Gone.
Is it possible if they can have it AI assisted, i.e., like 30% of it, 30% of the work is like AI?
Sean is asking an excellent question, and I'm not going to answer that.
They also state that they are using AI.
I can't answer it yet. It's a work in progress, okay, Sean? But thank you for having the courage to ask these questions so early. To be a global leader today means you really have to know how to use AI. And it's not just AI anymore. What's the next generation that's coming from OpenAI? Sam Altman, creator of ChatGPT, they're now coming with the next generation called digital agents, which is that you will be able to go online and, let's say, for example, just really simple, you were going to cook a meal and you had to buy the ingredients. Well, you just put the recipe or even a little bit of the ingredients that you want into your digital agent, and it will go and it will buy all the things for you. It will go to Safeway, it will go to any online service, and it will get you the carrots, and it will get you the onions. It will buy them for you. It will pay for it. It will organize the delivery. And so all you will have to do is wait for your ingredients to be delivered to you, and you can cook the meal. Your digital agent will have done everything for you. That's coming. Digital agents that pay your bills. Digital agents that make appointments for you. Not just digital agents who write your assignments for you. I was so heartbroken last semester when I had to give quite a few zeros to students for their final assignments because it was so obvious. They didn't write a word of their final assignments. So I'm just going to say this for now, and then we will continue. I think of AI abuse is like ordering a pizza. Here's what you don't want to do. When an assignment is due, you go to the pizza place and you say, Lon has asked for mushrooms, pepperoni, thin crust, and good tomato sauce. Could you just, Mr. Pizza Maker, just make that for me? And I'm going to take that hot pizza and I'm going to give it to Lon. He's going to love it. But you will have never made the pizza. Please do not just deliver me pizzas for the assignments. You will hear me say pizza again and again and again. And I had a student last semester, thankfully, in his final assignment, he said, I really understood what Lon was saying about pizza delivery. And he said, I see this happening in my classes. Students are cheating their way through so much now because they can just get everything they need with a click. I will talk more about this, Sean, about how to use these tools, but please be on notice, please, and listen to this very, very closely. Dylan as well, and all of you watching the recordings. The more you rely on your machine to do the thinking for you, the more you lose your ability to think for yourself. The more you lose the ability to be a critical thinker, and the more you leave yourself open to being manipulated. To the point where, in final assignments last semester, I had a student write as his source in his works cited John Doe. Swear to God. Now, who would like to explain what John Doe means? I think you know what John Doe. Alec, can you just explain? So this student put John Doe, and I checked even the reference just to see there was no reference. Of course, there was no John Doe. So there never was anything there. Alec, who is John Doe?
So John Doe or Jane Doe, depending, is usually what the name given to a body that can't be identified.
So just a generic person.
Yes. So
John or
normally a name
Jane
given
Doe.
to a generic person who they can't identify. So because they don't know who it is, they give them the name either John Doe or Jane Doe.
And the citation was so beautifully written. Everything was spelled. The title of the paper, the volume number, the date when it was accessed, the page number. No such source exists. No such person exists. And this is the kind of thing that scares me a lot. Okay. So I want to stop for a second, and then we're going to have a little activity. Does anyone have any questions or anything about what this course is, how you're going to be assessed, what is expected of you before I have you rise and meet each other in a little speed activity? Amir, please go ahead. And let's get Amir the microphone. I can help you with that. Go ahead, Amir. Excellent.
Can you show us like example for how or like how we need like to write our questions? Like I don't know like what do you mean like by questions?
Okay. So
And
we'll do it right
the
now.
example will help us, I think.
End of today's class, before next week's class, you have one task. You will go to, and let's go to, can we bring up the class folder on DC Connect? I will show you the DC Connect portion because you're going to be using this, and this will help you. So on DC Connect, on the page, there is a content page, which you're probably all familiar with. And every class has a class folder. So here's the class folder for today's class. Okay? And every class, all the items that we put in, we talk about, will be put there, including the discussion board. The notes will be saved, and the PDF will be put there. The live chat will be saved there. But at the end of today's class, Amir, or between now and next week, you have one task, and that is to go to the discussion board. So just scroll down if you can, and I can do it if you want to do it. Yeah, okay. Just scroll down to go back to the folder, and there we go. Okay, and then just leave that for now. Okay, you don't have to click there. You'll click on the discussion board, and you'll get a thread. All you need to do is you think of one question you would like to ask based on what we covered in today's class. So far, based on what we've been covering, if you were to go there and put your question, it just needs to be a nicely written question in English. What might you put there? Let's do it together right now. Alec? Oh, it's already in there. So Alec is already, go to the discussion board and click. So there we go. Alec is in there. Nice, Alec. Here's the question. Do you believe with all the conflicts that's continuing to rise, we may see World War III? Great.
No.
Okay. I know that AI didn't write that because there's a big spelling mistake right at the start. Good. That tells me that the human wrote this, not the machine. Good. Okay. It's all right. But so, Amir, that's what you need to do is think. And I just need you to write a question that is based on our content, and that's it. Okay? Yes. Yeah, good. Go ahead.
There was Level 1, 2, and 3. I think on the first page.
Yeah, I'll explain. I can.
Like what would a level 3?
Okay, well, let's go back and I'll show you what you will see there. And you can see what everybody will be seeing. Dylan will see and all the. So you will see this, and I'll just want to scroll. Yeah, there we go. So you will see this every week. It's
Kinza.
Kinza. You will see at the beginning of the discussion board, I always just cut and paste this discussion board 2 discussion. And the only thing that changes is the red part, the date of when it's due. It's always due the Tuesday before the Wednesday class next week. Okay. So this question is due next Tuesday, January the 14th. Okay. Now, notice how this works. This is where we get this nice class feeling. Everybody's reading this, all the students watching the recording and you. You have the choice of how you wish to participate in the class each week. You can attend in person, you can attend live online, synchronously, that's Dylan right now, or you can participate at your own pace by watching the class recording and reviewing the material posted in the class folder. The recording on YouTube, I will clean that up after the class, and then in the next 24 hours, it will be sitting there, class recording, okay, for you. So, participation mark is always worth 1.5%. And notice how you have the 3 things. In-person participation. Following the class, post on the discussion board in the class folder 1 question you believe is important to ask. Well, Alec already has his 3 out of 3. He's posted his question. And you can do this anytime during the class if you want, but you don't have to do it until next Tuesday. I would recommend you do it as quickly as you can while things are still fresh. Okay? What's that? And you might forget it. Okay? Do you have a question? Go ahead.
Just to be sure, it says here that the question should be between 175 and 200 words.
Well, not for you if you've come in person. Asynchronous. This is the big part. For the students who are just watching the recordings, I call them the asyncers. They're out there, definitely. Remember, there are 48 people registered for this class. Okay, so most of them are out there asynchronously. In order for them to get the participation mark, they have to watch the class, post a question, and then they have to give a reason in 175 to 200 words of why they asked the question. That's how they get their participation marks at home. Okay? You don't have to do that if you're coming in person. If Dylan wants 3 out of 3 completely, he also has to do the same thing. Otherwise, he will just get 2 out of 3 for being online. But if I notice in watching the recording that Dylan disappeared after the first 5 minutes of the class, then I will put 0 for participation. Because some students do that, is they show up and then they disappear. Okay? Is this making sense? Sean, you good? Okay, good stuff. Okay. I need you guys to stand up now. We got to get going, and I want you to meet each other, okay? So here's what we're going to do, okay? So Dylan, just hold on. I will join you in a moment. Please stand up, and I'm just going to count all of you, and then we're going to do a little activity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Would you be able to be the 20th? Yeah, okay, good. All right. So, you know the speed. I would like 10 people to stand shoulder to shoulder facing this direction. So we can just do this. Come around here, okay? 10, I'll help you set up, okay? This is a little, let's just get this working first. We're going to have 2 lines. So 10 right here, okay? In a straight line. So Alec can be over there, and it's Isaiah, yeah. Okay, Isaiah is here. We've got Ethan here. So let's get 10. And then do you want to come over here? Make sure, yes. Ruth over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Okay, and Maureen is going to come. I would like the rest of you to line up in front of them, facing them, okay? And Maureen is going to be so you can come over here and you can face Afoma. So would you please come through? Excellent. And face and go all the way up. So Maureen is standing in front of Afoma. I'm in front of Kinza. You're going to be in front of Kinza, okay? And Amir, you're going to be. So that's the way everybody's going to be facing somebody. This is a little bit of a speed introductions. And then please keep going. Sean, you can give me the microphone. Okay, good. Because okay, you keep the tissues. Good. Okay. So everybody should be facing somebody. Okay. And there's 20 students. It should be all lined up. And I'm just going to make sure. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is excellent. Excellent. That's right. This time it's even. We should be good. And I'll explain when we move around. But let's just start. Each of you is going to speak to the other. And this is how it's going to start. This row here is going to tell the person in front of them for 2 minutes or so what they really want from this class. Now, you've heard me talk a little bit about what I'm planning to teach and very, very simple introduction, but I need to hear what your expectations are, really your expectations. So Afoma is going to tell Maureen what her expectations are. Maureen's going to listen, and she might have a question, and then Maureen's going to tell Afoma what her expectations are. And then I'm going to say switch. And the line is going to move around. Okay, it's going to go in a circle. So Maureen would step to where Afoma is. Afoma is going to go one to her left. You're going to come around here. And gradually, you're going to meet many different people. And you're going to learn about what they want from the class. What we'll try to prevent is when we have to stop and switch. We don't get a train wreck here with all of this. You'll see. I'll help you, okay? Is it making sense? On your marks, get set, go. Okay, now, Dylan. I am yours right now, okay? You are the only online student, and while they are speaking, I can interact with you. So, can you hear me clearly? Excellent. So, Dylan, I'd like you to think, what would you really like to achieve in this class? And I'd like you to give this some thought. Reflection is a big part of this class. So take a minute, and then in the live chat, as best you can, tell me what you really want to achieve in this class, okay? I'll leave that with you. Give it as much thought as you can, okay? Switch. Move to your left. Just step to your left. So you are going around. We can prevent the train wreck, which is, yep, good. Alec, you are now here. It's okay. You talk to him. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. You can't talk to everybody. It's okay. I got to keep things moving. So here we go. Now, what are you expecting? Sean and Ethan. Let's see. We've got to make sure everybody's exactly. You should be in front of a new person. Okay. Way to go. Okay. Dylan, in a word or two, what would you say? Oh, good. Yeah. So your marks are important. Of course they are. Now, right now as I speak, I'm not only speaking to you, Dylan, but I'm speaking to all the students who are watching the recording as well, because that's what they will hear while they see this activity unfolding. And in a moment, we will take this up. Dylan, I want you to go a little further now. I want you to put the mark aside, and I want you to think about the idea of global and leadership. What do you think global leadership means? Take your time and then just write that in the live chat. I'm going to take it as a given for all of the students watching the recordings that you all want what Dylan wants is a mark somewhere in the 90s. Makes sense. But in order to get that mark, you're going to have to really understand a lot about global leadership. So what do you think that means, global leadership? That's what I would like you, Dylan, to put in the live chat. Okay, switch. One step to the left. No train wreck at the end. Just one step to the left. New person. New expectations. That's right. You got it, Kinza. You will find a new person. That's right. That's right. Good. Very good. Good. Okay. Good. Way to go. Stop. Good. Dylan, I'm reading it now and I'm just blowing up the planet as well. Dylan, what program are you in? For all of you hearing this right now, I'm blowing up with Police Foundation. Very good. So, how would you define good leadership as a Police Foundation student thinking about entering the police force in a world of law and order? What does good leadership mean? I will help you through the semester in understanding some of the basics, but I'd like you to at least start to think about leadership in this. How do you see effective, quality leadership in a world of law and order that you will enter? Dylan, go ahead. Put your thoughts down. And for those of you watching the recordings, that's something that I'd like you to think about for your 175 to 200 word post that you're going to be doing after the class. Okay, switch, please. One step to the left. No train wreck. You already had a train wreck, but you solved it. I like problem solving. So, good. Way to go. Now we go. Keep going. It's complicated. Good, Alec. Okay. Good. We got Ruth. We got Ethan. We've got Mr. Welsh, and its first name again is Liam. Nice. Liam. Yeah. Excellent. Keep going. Nice. You're meeting. You're meeting. Dylan, would you like to be attending all of the classes online this semester, or do you think you might want to come for in person too? Okay, you keep working on that. I will speak to the students watching the recordings. So for all of you who are watching this activity, you can see me right now over here holding the planet. And I am looking at the live chat at the moment, and Dylan's comment has just come in. That's great. In order to see Dylan's full comment, all you have to do is in the folder where you found the recording, just click on the live chat, and you will see that Dylan has said in response to my question that his idea of leadership in the law and order perspective is, I think it means subscribing to subcultures of being fair and honest, not having prejudice with groups, and being an active member on campus and someone teachers can rely on. And I'd rather be in class. Okay, you always have the choice, Dylan. You know, you can come if you want or you don't have to. But I like this idea of someone teachers can rely on. So that's a sense of responsibility. Can you write that word in the live chat right now, Dylan? Because I want everyone to really think about this, because this is a critical part of good leadership, is responsibility. That when you give your word, thanks, okay, Dylan. What responsibility means is that when you give your word and you say you're going to do something, you do it. That's what a leader does. A leader is always responsible for the action. You cannot say that you are too busy, that you have other responsibilities. When you commit to something, you commit because people are relying on you. Okay, switch one step to the left. No train wreck. Keep going, and it's going to be Alec and who's next? Alec and Liam now. Okay, Alec and Liam. We got Ethan, and finally it is Isaiah. I know that. Yeah, good. Ethan and Isaiah. Liam and Alec. We've got Ruth there. We've got Amir. Good. Kinza, Afoma. Lovely. Maureen. Keep going. Okay. Great. So just to come back to what I was saying in responding to Dylan's comment. For all of you listening right now, you probably have heard the word responsibility a lot from your parents. And it may be a word that you get tired of hearing. You know, your father, your mother, your uncle, or your sister telling you to be more responsible. I'm going to try and explain responsibility in a slightly different way. Responsibility is about integrity. And to be a good leader of people, people need to trust you. I like what Dylan said when he said that he wants to be an active member and somebody that you can rely on. Well, that's great. That means Dylan is saying, I am ready to take responsibility and I am ready to do the things that I say I will do because the respect of people is important. That's a very important part of leadership. And I might even say, Dylan, that you already have a bit of a natural leader in you. If you're saying something like that, that you want to be relied on, leaders are not afraid of taking responsibility. Dylan, does that make sense in what I've just said? Yeah, good. So again, for all of you watching, I'm talking to the people on the recording, okay? So I'm teaching to keep going, all right? So for all of you watching the recording and online right now, I'm interacting with Dylan. He's made some good comments in the live chat. This is available as a resource for you in the class folder. And I'm going to come back in a moment to all the students that you're watching interacting right now. What you're witnessing is the intense and really inspiring interaction in this classroom. That's the educational experience that we've tried to create here, okay? So you're seeing the students here. Everybody is talking. in person. They're interacting. Please switch one step to the left. Keep going. Even if you're in mid-sentence, it's okay. Yep, that's it. Ethan should be coming around, and Ethan and Liam are now. And it'll be Isaiah. Yeah, good. Now we have Kinza and we have Ruth. Yeah, we have Amir and we have Alec. Good. Way to go. So for all of you watching right now, and I'm speaking to you, Dylan, can you see me right now speaking straight to the camera? Just go ahead and put excellent. Okay, so do you notice what we're doing right now, Dylan? And for all of you watching the recording, is I'm trying as best I can to give you online the experience of being part of this class, even though you're somewhere else. You are here in this intellectual space. We're interacting in different ways. But most importantly is you're watching and you're seeing the level of human interaction that is really important for you to witness, because a leader, a really good leader, likes to be with other people. A really good leader is not remote, is not somewhere else, but is in the mix. And so I encourage you to come in person, but if you can't, don't worry about it. You have lots of ways of interacting. But I am trying to help you to understand that communication skills are so critical for effective leadership. Dylan, if that doesn't make sense, or you have a question, please put it in the live chat, because I can see the live chat in front of me right now. Okay, so I can actually engage with you and ensure that we are interacting at this moment. Is there anything that it makes sense and you agree? Is there anything, Dylan, that you might disagree with so far? It's okay if you tell me. I'm fine with that, as long as it's intelligent. Not yet? Okay. No swearing, okay? No angry, violent language, but everything is on the table here. We can talk about everything and anything, as long as it's smart and you are paying attention to your language. Okay, switch. Keep going. Yes. It's fast. We're almost there. One more. Yep, Liam, come around. Good. So it should be Liam. Yep. And it should be Ethan and Amir. Isaiah and Kinza. Nice. Good. Afoma and Alec. Ruth and Mayreen. Nice. Okay. Way to go, everybody. One of the reasons why I stress the human interaction so much, in addition to the skills that you need to develop for effective leadership, is also because the pandemic really was a difficult time, because it meant that everybody disappeared online. And it was good in the sense that we were able to keep education going, even though we couldn't be in person. But when the pandemic ended, a lot of people just did not want to come back from Zoom and from being online. And we educators are struggling with that. And we're trying to find a way to make sure we can balance that, but also ensure that the human experience will always be of primary importance. Okay? So that's why I really encourage you to be in person here. In a moment, what we're going to do is we're going to take up everything. So I'm going to have everybody here return to the couches, and then we're going to go over to the board, and we're going to take up what they've resolved, and we're going to end the class, okay? So let me just come back to the podium. And in 30 seconds, you will return to your couches. 30 more seconds. Wrap it up. when I speak at the students here, Dylan, loudly, is it too loud for you? Am I blowing out your ear? I hope not. Okay, I've tried to manage the decibel level. Okay, good. Maureen has adjusted the decibel level, so if I speak really loudly, it shouldn't break up and sound too loud. Okay, in a moment, we're going to take this up together. Okay, please return to the couches. We're going to do a take up and get ready for the big part of the class. Most important part. Please return to your seats. Way to go, everybody. I hate to interrupt all of you in mid-sentence, but we got to keep things moving. And we have some bigger business to take care of. Thank you, Maureen, for stepping in. You're going to learn more and more about Maureen and how invaluable she is and special she is in this space and what she brings to this, but we can't do everything today. So we have about 7 minutes left. Now, I want you to be aware of something because I didn't check with all of you beforehand. We did not have a break at 11 o'clock. That's supposed to happen. If it's okay, every class we will end 15 minutes early, but we won't have a break. Okay? Are you okay with that?
Can we instead do like choose whether or not, like vote, hands up, hands down?
We can. Sean, just get ready for the result. Okay? Because I have a feeling. But if you would like a break for some reason, no problem, okay? At 11 o'clock, if you need to go to the washroom or something, you can. But if it's to get a refill of French fries, not allowed, okay? But washroom, anything, not a problem, okay?
We can just, yeah.
You can just walk up and you can leave.
And the cafe is just right outside, so we also have that for food.
But I want to tell you why I do this, apart from other reasons. The most important for me is that when we come into a class and we have 90 minutes, essentially, it's kind of like going down to the beach, getting on a wave with the surfboards, and we go out there and we surf and we stay out there. When we keep coming back to the beach and we break and then we go back out again, it's always like the gas comes out, the energy comes down. We have to wait and start again after the break. So I like to start the class and we build up a kind of momentum and it's moving towards the final part, and then we end on top and you're done and you're gone. Okay? That's how it should work. But if there are some of you at 11 o'clock, whenever we hit 11 o'clock and you feel you have to have a break quickly, do something, you can just get up and leave. Okay? But the class is going to continue. The class will continue. All right? Now, we have to finish the take-up. We have to finish the class. And this is the critical part. This is when we learn together. Now, you will notice that I've written up there your expectations. We need to write in very clear English your 3 critical expectations based on what you discussed. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, first we need somebody to write. Now, Maureen's too busy. Sometimes she goes and writes, sometimes she does this, but she has a lot of things on her mind right now. And she has great calligraphy, but let's, see who. Are any of you aware of the power of the written word and how important it is to write well? Just raise, yeah, Alex certainly knows, Afoma, Ruth, I have a sense Kinza's probably going to know all of you. Okay, good. Do any of you really, really like to write? Like you, Amir? Not in English, okay.
You accept text to speech.
Oh, I'm almost
Or
tempted to say
speech to
in
text.
Arabic. You could go and write
Yeah,
this. I'm
text-
almost tempted, but
speech
not
to
in the first
text.
class. We will put some Arabic down there later, okay? Afoma, did I see you? And do you like to pick up an instrument and use your hand to write? Like, do you like that? Use your hand or keyboard? Your hand? Even better. Well, then Afoma, could you please go and stand over at that board? Okay? Afoma is going to do. Now, how's our camera 2 working? Watch what we're going to do for a moment, just to give Afoma a little bit of, hi, Afoma, you're on YouTube now. All those, few people watching, being on YouTube does not mean it's the world, as you know. It might seem like that, it's just a few people. But there's Afoma, and Afoma, if you look at that camera over there right now, and see that camera right there above, right there, that one, you can be speaking straight to Dylan. Hi, Dylan. Hi, people who are all watching the recording, okay? And
Hello, our mindless overlords.
ooh, is that sick? Oh no, I was gonna say, is that sick,
Sorry,
Dylan?
it was
That's
for a joke.
Good. Mindless. I like that, Sean. I just want to keep the class moving, but I could be speaking to you all class because you've got some interesting things to say. I like your references too. So there's Afoma, and she's going to write down the final notes. Okay, just so she doesn't feel too uncomfortable, why don't we bring the camera back to all of us, okay? So we have to tell Afoma what to write. Now, Afoma, just to be helpful here, so you know how to write, just take that stylus in your hand and just say hello in number 1. Just write hello, okay? See how it goes? Okay. And if you want to rub that off, just take your palm of your hand and just rub hello. There we go. That's going to be saved as a PDF in the class folder. This is our learning together, our collective learning. This is critical stuff. So what do you expect? Well, first, we're going to have to be fast. We may not get it all done right now. We can do this in review next week. We only have a minute or 2 left, and I want to let you go when I said I would. A leader, when he says or she says something, he sticks to it. He tries to, okay? If I tell you something, you expect me to deliver. That's leadership. Okay, so you're expecting to be gone in a minute or 2. Fair enough. So let's do one thing, just one thing, and we'll return to this next week. One critical expectation. Who's ready to raise their... Good. Kenza's going to be default. Kenza, go ahead. And let's think about this. We're going to just talk about it briefly, and then we're going to get Afoma to write this, and then we're done. Okay. Kenza, what is sort of the critical, it could be something you said, something you heard, something that you want this class to deliver on. Please go ahead.
We're going to be, I believe the expectation for this class is that we're going to be talking a lot to each other. So we're talking to each other. We have a lot of differences. We have different backgrounds. We have different thinkings. So it's in really, I think an expectation would be to understand and listen to one another. That's really important.
Okay, we're just brainstorming a little together, and then we're going to come down with just a few words, okay? And Afoma, as you're hearing this too, just think, okay? Don't write yet, because when you start writing, we all want to be focused on this because it's going to be dramatic. It's going to be Afoma writing. It's like in the Bourne Identity, Berlin, Rio de Janeiro. When the names of things are written out on the screen and they're typed out, everybody's watching what gets written. Bourne Identity, is that a reference? It's a good movie. Okay, well, anyways. All right, so Alec, microphone. Keep listening. Expectation, understanding, interaction.
Maybe the different leadership styles and the pros and cons of each.
Okay. One more, and then we're going to write down number 1. Okay? Let's see. Isaiah, since you were the one who started this all off today, you were the first person to speak today. What is the expectation in this class that you think is critical, that you want me in this class to deliver on?
Just be yourself, teach us some cool things, give us some new perspective.
Okay.
Give me leadership skills.
Okay. What's the critical 3 words that have been mentioned right now? We're going to write 3 critical words. It doesn't have to be a sentence. It can just be 3 critical words. What's the most important word so far? Would you say Kenza?
An important word that was mentioned, maybe I don't know, like leadership, like listening, understanding.
Listening,
Listening, yeah.
comma. I thought good leaders are supposed to talk. Oh no, they gotta.
They gotta listen to
certainly.
everyone.
Listen,
Every single whisper. every single-
listening, comma, listening. Next one, gotta listen. Gotta listen to the people around you. Gotta listen to your team. What are they saying? What do they want? Do you really have your ear to the ground? Do you know what's going on? Or do you just end up talking and talking and talking? Or going online and checking another Instagram post, blah, blah. No, listen. 1 more, 2 more words, and then we're done. Amir. You can tell us in Arabic, and then we'll try and translate, because we love different languages, but go ahead in English. Listening. A word that's so critical, a word about leader that you really want to learn and develop in this class. You're going to learn how to listen. That's for sure.
Let's say understanding.
Understand. Understand. Ooh, it's more difficult than you think. And finally, otherwise I will have broken my word on the first class because we're running 5 minutes late. That's not a good example of leadership right now. I am running a little late. Not good.
So you mean time or respect time? Time.
Understanding. Understanding is good. Final one. No, let's go to perspective here. Let's go to perspective. Over here. Yes. Yeah. What country did you come from originally?
Uganda.
Uganda. So we now are going to hear, based on this conversation in this class, process through a young Ugandan's mind who's in Canada, and he's going to tell us what he thinks is really important to learn in this class. 1 word.
Democracy.
Oh, wow. Please put that down.
Can we instead put I guess individualization and unity?
Next week, we'll do it in the review. You know what democracy means? Biggest question of all. Freedom. What's the future of freedom? How are you going to ensure that when you lead, you allow the people with you to be free? A leader gets the most out of his people, not by scaring them, not by holding his thumb in their forehead, but by inspiring, by giving a sense of freedom, by producing more and more liberty and openness. Then watch what we can do together. So democracy. Thank you. What's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, everybody.
Sorry, can I say like something?
Amir, and then we're done, okay?
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
Like some people like say democracy, but there's a thing. Maybe like we know like being a dictator, like it's a bad thing sometimes and a good thing, like because we know a leader called Genghis Khan. I think most of you know about him. You know Genghis Khan. Maybe he was a killer or
Yes.
someone who bad, but he have like some good points. He was a person who love people who have, let's say, special things, like engineers, like people who can understand the climate, who's leader. But if he chooses like to not killing people and just to try to being something else and not using just force and power, maybe this thing will be like better thing, but it will take like more time than everyone this. Like his way was wrong, but the way he think about like let's say having people that know a lot of things and know have, let's say, like even you are like from a known family, or you are like a normal person, like he was someone who respect, someone is not like from a high class family, everyone was like equal from his side.
Sure.
Yeah, even
Okay,
though he was
let
a
me
killer.
stop you for a second, okay? Let me just because I'm conscious of time. We will review next week. We will bring these notes back and we can add more to this. But I detected in what you said that there's something really important there. It's called courage. You're going to be hearing a lot about courage in the weeks to come. A lot about courage. Courage. Not killing. That's not courage. But courage.
Not to be related with the movie The Purge.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. We will come to it. Alex, see you next week. Everybody, I got to let you go. We're running late. You have your question, remember, for next week. You've already received 2 out of 3 for being here. You want that 3 out of 3. Dylan, thank you. We'll see you maybe next week. Take care. And for all of you watching the recordings, remember, if you want that 3 out of 3, you need to post your 175 to 200 word explanation for why you've posted that question. I guess my question is always, why does he have to be a killer?
I don't know about.
Yeah, okay, but we'll come. We'll come, but
Because he need to have like the thing is there's a lot of problems in those places, a lot of people that let's say 50 years, what they call like the things is, like, you know, when we are in the future, they
Yeah.
still like living past like 50 and 60 years. You want to have like you want to all the people like to the highest level. Like I know he did like what's the name of the city in English?
well, I'm going to say to you,
Samarkand.
that keep bringing him back next week because I want to ask you in front of the class, why did he have to kill? Because this is something we need to understand more of, is that why do we think that leaders need to kill?
He was like
Okay.
people respected him, but the way it's not.
That's not good. Anyways, Amir, thank you. I'll see you next. Don't forget your question, okay? You do? Good. Okay, we're done? Oh, yeah, thanks. Okay, so 2 o'clock, yeah, we're on time, back to 2 o'clock.
I'll just get Professor Dean set up.
Sure.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you? I'm
Well,
Lon, by the way.
I'm Dean.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
Maureen will get you set up.
I'm counting on her.
So here you go.
Sure, I'll put that away.
Yeah.
Do you want to get the notes real
Yeah,
quick?
I'll take care of it.
Okay, if you wanted to put your
Thank you very
laptop
much.
here, so